Just win, baby. Winning a championship is considered the pinnacle of professional sports. Michael Jordan's 6 championships still drive the price of his cards to legendary status. Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowl rings make his rookies the most desired among all sports card collectors. And what about LeBron's 4 titles? Or Mahomes' 3 titles? Are championships the ultimate factor in a player's long-term value? Let's talk. What is up, everybody? I am Dappz with the hobby legend himself, Ethan, and we are back for another episode of Up or Down, the show where we dive into what really moves a card's price up or down. But before we get into anything else, we need to first show appreciation for all of you watchers out there. We did a giveaway last week for a little on-card Drake May autograph. This bad boy is a rookie out of Topps Finest, and we want to congratulate. The winner is, drumroll please, Damon Arvid. Congratulations, you won the Drake May this week. Please comment underneath this video and say, hey, I won. Again, congratulations to Damon Arvid 3548. And I have another slab in my hand right here, and we're going to give this away right now. Actually, no, we're not going to give it away right now. We're going to give it away later in the episode. Stick around, keep watching, figure out what this slab is. Remember, in order to enter any giveaway on any given week, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, like this video, and comment underneath the video. Once you do that, you're automatically entered. We have given away a card every episode, the last 10 episodes. Nothing's changing today. Now, we talk about this on the show all the time. Winning a championship can really boost the value of a player's card, as I think we've seen with SGA. He won the finals MVP. He won the scoring title. He won the finals. He won the regular season MVP. He's doing a lot of winning, right? Mm-hmm. And because of all this winning, if you were an investor in him or a collector of SGA's rookie cards or any cards for that matter, you're making a couple bucks on those cards, or you're keeping him long term and you're hoping that he wins more championships. Mm-hmm. But I think we should also reference other players who have won championships and increased the value of their cards. The first card we're going to talk about is Freddie Freeman's 2009 Bowman Superfractor. So this card was $39,000 before his 2021 World Series win with the Braves, and it jumped to $91,000 after his 2024 World Series victory with the Dodgers. Obviously, we saw him hit that walk-off Grand Slam Game 1, and I think he homered in like 2, 3, 4 games in a row in the World Series. Yeah. So we're talking about over double the amount this sells for in a 3-year period. What do you think about that Freddie Freeman sale?
Freddie Freeman's market is really funny because when he left the Braves, everyone dumped his stuff. The diehards no longer followed him, but luckily he went to a team like the Dodgers who will pick him right back up where he started. He's not only been doing what he's already been doing, but he's been getting better. He's the third bat in that lineup. It's a very important lineup because you're going to look back at this in 10 years and be like, the 2025 Dodgers team is probably one of the best teams of our generation. So I actually own a gold Freddie Freeman that I bought a couple weeks ago at Burbank Card Store. I bought I think a BGS 8.5 gold for $5K. And if you look at him, like you look at Betts or you look at Bryce Harper or any other first ballot Hall of Famers, his stuff is generally cheap.
And I think you made a great point. He's kind of the third best player, arguably, on the team. I mean, I think you could put Freeman above Betts or below Betts on any given day.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, Ohtani is the clear number one. Yeah. Look at the prices of his cards in the market.
Ohtani gold 8.5 would cost me $50,000. I can get Freddie Freeman for 1/10. And Freddie Freeman's a good guy. Like all these stories you keep hearing about he's playing injured and the stuff with his son, how he comes back and just commits to the Dodgers, it's good for a player because you can be a first ballot Hall of Famer and a scumbag and no one will buy your cards.
Now I want to move over to a different market that we don't traditionally touch on this show. This will be the first time we really dive into tennis.
About time.
So Carlos Alcaraz, his 2022 Net Pro Rookie Auto 1/1 PSA 10 card doubled in value during the 2025 French Open win last month. The card sold at auction last Saturday night for around $240K, becoming the most expensive men's tennis card sale of all time. The previous record was held by Alcaraz's Topps Royalty 1/1 RPA, which sold for $222,000. We're talking about a tennis card right now, a $250,000 tennis card.
Yeah, so I've been waiting to talk about this for so long. I am not a tennis fan. I happen to be from Miami. I went to the Miami Open last year and saw this 21-year-old kid who's built like a brick shithouse. This guy does not look like a tennis player. Just destroy people. The sound that ball makes coming off his racket is like a baseball. It's insane. Is this the highest sell for a tennis card ever? Yes. But is Carlos Alcaraz probably gonna be the best tennis player of all time? Yes. Like back then, if you wanted like a Djokovic's cards, there weren't really good cards to buy. Now it's Carlos Alcaraz has a Topps Royalty 101 bat tennis knob patch auto, and then his Net Pro Superfractor 101 auto. Like these are quality cards, and what the hobby calls multisport now, which is like tennis, wrestling, WWE, like soccer, like these stuff have buyers to them. Like go out and pick up Michael Phelps autos. Go out and get Serena Williams cards because like these are goats. Like Freddie Freeman is not a GOAT compared to what Carlos Alcaraz is going to be. Go out, grab GOATs of multi-sport players because there is a market for it.
Listen, I mean, the fact that Djokovic and the fact that Nadal and Federer don't have like iconic cards, so to speak, and I think this is kind of also like when Panini came along and started making RPAs, and maybe it was a little before that they the first RPAs that were produced. But I mean, Panini obviously took it to another level, right? Where like the rookie patch autographs became the logo man, became the one-of-one shield. These cards became staples in the hobby where that was the card that's the most desired over anything else, right? Obviously, Black Prism Finite, and there's obviously other cards as well that everybody wants to collect. But this Alcaraz, this is a really cool card. To have the knob of a tennis racket that he played with and have that one-on-one sale at $250,000, I think that speaks to the card market is not just for baseball, basketball, football, hockey, tennis. Who knows what Fanatics is about to do in terms of wrestling. The pro debut patch, I think, what was the one they launched at WrestleMania? The WrestleMania patch? Is that what they're calling it?
Whatever it's called.
Who knows what type of patchwork they're going to do over the next 5 years. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely insane, the chases that they create. Now, on the flip side of all of this, you know, there's a guy we continuously reference on the show, Joe Burrow, gets to the championship. His Gold Prism price, 3, 4, 5Xs that week of the championship. Very similar to Halliburton, right? But then Burrow loses. Now his Gold Prism is less than half, maybe 20K, 30K, somewhere in that area.
Sure. I'd pay
Prism
30K
Gold.
for it, yeah.
You'd pay 30K. So we're talking about less than half the amount. We'll see what happens with Halliburton's one-of-one. I know we debated that last week, whether we think his is going to fall off a cliff. But, you know, you talk about a guy like Mike Trout. Mike Trout, 3-time MVP, going into 21 in the COVID era, Mike Trout's baseball card prices exploded. Yeah. They went absolutely ballistic. And now, present day, they're not really looking that hot. And, I mean, it could be his lack of playing time. It could be the lack of playoff appearances he's making. You got to feel bad for a guy like Mike Trout because they argued that he should have went to the Dodgers years ago or the Yankees or whoever he should have gone to be in a big market. And his injuries have really like kind of riddled his career. So long term, do you feel like Trout is a guy who can get back to that price that he was at one day?
He will never get back to that price, but I mean, loyalty is royalty. Being with the Angels for 20 years is something to say to your character. His prices will go up because if you look by the numbers, he's still a top 10 player of all time. But the injuries he's faced, like his neck injury, no other player would still be playing right now. I think he's 36 playing with that type of injury. Like if this was 1995, he would have been gone out of the league. So when it's all said and done, the market will go up. Because here's a good example that I saw the other day. A Buster Posey Bowman Chrome Gold Auto did like 15, 20K in a 9.5 the other day. And like Buster Posey at the end of his career got super hurt, had a short career, stayed with the Giants his whole career, but it ended fast. But now he's the coach there. Now maybe Mike Trout at the end goes into the front office, goes into coaching, goes into player development. And then you're like, oh, wow, I forgot how good Mike Trout really is. Because when that ballot comes around and you see what his WAR is compared to other guys, you're going to be like, yeah, Mike Trout was him.
And also, there's only so many players in MLB history who have won 3 MVPs, and it's a very short list. So I think long-term, Trout is a great investment. I think that if you are looking at guys, this is a great time to buy Trout for a long-term hold.
Yeah, look at Trout's numbers versus anyone who didn't or questionably didn't take steroids. It's not even close. Mike Trout's like the new Mickey Mantle.
Now we can jump over to our favorite segment, What I'm Buying. Ethan, what are we buying this week?
What am I trying to buy this
you're
week?
trying to buy the one-of-one Nebula Wemby.
Yeah, it's a card that's going to sell for 1/4 of its last sale in a calendar year. I mean, this card, I'm pretty sure did 100K plus last time. And it's beautiful, man. The Nebula Optic cards, I mean, this
card is absolutely beautiful. It's listed at $47,000, one of one, PSA 9, 7 bids, 2 days left. What are you paying? What is your top line on this card? Like, what is the most money you'll spend on this card?
If I can get this card for 70K, I mean, it's a good buy because you already have data saying this is what it used to be. He doesn't have autos. People are probably looking at this like, ooh, it's Optic Nebula. Like, no, this is one of his top 10 cards because he doesn't sign. When we first started signing this podcast, I wouldn't buy a Wemby card. Now, I mean, it's in the gutter. It's time to buy. Like, look at the draft. Look at the depth chart. Like, the Spurs are going to be good. If Wemby is even 75% of what we thought he would be, he's a generational talent.
So 70K is your max on this card?
70K is my max because I'm a cheapo, but I'm definitely going to lose at 70K. Just because I want things for bargains.
So then what do you think the card ends up at?
I think it does 6 digits.
So you think it's a 100K plus card?
Maybe not today, but in the season it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's the next card on the list?
The next card is a sneaky card. It's the championship tags out of Immaculate. And in the States, it's not as big as it is overseas, but these championship tags are dope. If you don't know what they are, because, I mean, the Pistons haven't won a championship in a long time, it's not if you won a championship recently, it's how many championships you have as an organization. It's on the bottom of your jersey. It's really small. This is game used also. So Cade Cunningham championship tag is an undervalued card. I know the Flawless one probably does like 30K, so I think the Immaculate one should do 20 plus.
On card out of 5, it's a pretty cool card.
Beautiful card.
This is at 15K on highest bid, 40 bids, so people are definitely looking at this card. 2 days left. Pop 1. Bookend 5 of 5. 15K for a Cade Cunningham. And this is kind of impressive too because I feel like in the last couple of years, EMAC has kind of fell off a little bit, right? I feel like years ago people cared way more about Immaculate and talked about it way more and valued it way more. And it wasn't national treasures, but people kind of like looked at it right underneath that. And now I feel like there's a huge discrepancy between an NT and even NT and Flawless. But would you put Flawless and EMAC kind of on the same tier beneath national treasures? What do you think?
People have it all wrong. If you don't like IMAC, you're just wrong. You don't respect the asset state. You don't respect the game-worn stuff. You don't understand basketball because you're probably the same dude that wants to go buy an NT RPA over Flawless RPA. That shit's not game used. In my book, which is not what the market says, it should go Flawless, then NT, then IMAC. Even though NT's not game-worn, it's the true staple of the hobby. But it's just... I'd rather have something the player uses. You can tie it back to the player. IMAC has great vet logo mans that are all game used. A lot of the RPAs aren't, but the championship tags are. So they have good niche stuff that still sells for tons overseas. And when you look at it, like this is a Pop 1 and it's a BGS 8, it's because most people don't give a shit about grading this card. It's an acetate card. You're not going to get higher than an 8. So in a one-touch, it looks just fine.
What's after Cade on this list?
Another card that I just think it's cheap at this point. So Brady has tons of autos. And he has a couple patch autos. But none of them are game-worn 3-color on-card NT. Like, that just checks all the boxes. People are going to want good Brady cards in the future, and this is one of the good Panini ones.
This is beautiful, and I think you're right. There's not a lot of, like, beautiful Patriots patch Tom Brady cards. They don't come around all the time. Obviously, when he was a rookie, they didn't have cards like this.
No.
Right? You have they barely had contenders. I can't even believe they have a contenders Tom Brady back then, right? So this NT card is gorgeous, and I think that you see the market with Michael Jordan, his 90s inserts, what they're doing now, right? 20, 25 years later, 30 years after the fact. Tom Brady's market will follow a similar trajectory in terms of this is an $8,000 or $10,000 card present day. This is an $80,000 card in 30 years.
I want more people to buy with their eyes because I see these playbook Tom Brady autos, these select dog shit Tom Brady autos, these certified patch autos. Like, sure, go out and buy yourself some junk, but this is a really nice collector's piece. Like, Brady doesn't sign in NT and Flawless that often, and then rarely is it a patch with it. So just we'll look back, and this will be one of his better cards.
And we always talk about low pop, right? Long term. This is only printed to 15. There's only 9 of them in pop in a BGS. So I like this as a long-term hold for Brady for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
What is the next card you're looking at?
I feel like every week I'm throwing a Kobe card on there, but it's not always patch autos.
Well, also a Spectra Kobe card is also like you don't see that too often.
So if you're really sharp, like let me give you an example. Last week, a Shea Select patch auto tie-dye came up to me sealed, and I was like, Select's a piece of shit. But if you looked at it, it was on card. You turned it around, and it was game used. And those are the two things I want. This is a Spectra card. Sure, Spectra sucks, but 2013 it didn't. This is a 3-color game use patch with a bold auto and a cool looking card. No, is it not iMac? No, is it not flawless? But if you're not a hater, it's a pretty cool card.
Well, it's super curious too because Spectra, similar path to EMAC, except I don't think people value Spectra at all anymore.
No.
Whereas a couple years ago, like it was like, oh, Spectra's releasing, and like people were really hyped about it. Also, Spectra, like, what do you think about people who would say orange card, yellow, purple patch? Like, does that affect you as a buyer to not match the jersey or the coloring of the team, right? So like orange is kind of really like contrasting yellow and purple. Like as a buyer, like I'm not collecting this card because of that. I'm curious as to like what you think about that. Not for necessarily a flipping or sales point, but
I see what you mean with the
like
color.
I collect Kobe, and this is not like there's so many other Kobes I would collect over this.
Yeah, I see what you mean with the color, but we also need to look into the timetable of this. This is like first year Panini stuff, like 2012, 2013. And like you said with the product, like people nowadays think certified and totally certified are the same thing. They think that Crown and Crown Silos are the same thing. Like at this time period, this was a good card. Does the color not match? Sure, but for the price you're going to pay for it compared to if the colors did match, you're saving tons of money just for a little. And if you're colorblind, I mean, it's a perfect color match.
Colorblind.
Yeah.
For those colorblind collectors
like
out there. Yeah. What do we got next? This is sick, this card. I really have not looked into this that much.
Dude.
And this is gorgeous.
Dude, you need to buy with your eyes more, man, because most people, like, they see manga and they're like, ew, 2021 mangas, 2022 mangas. They did a good job this year. They actually got a real manga anime drawer or someone overseas who actually has some talent.
Well, some of the mangas have been horrible.
They've been terrible.
Like they've been really bad, and this
terrible.
one looks awesome.
Like the only good manga outside this year was the Tom Brady with the Thanos gloves.
Yep.
Besides that, they've butched the T-Law year. They butched the Purdy years. This card is stunning. This set has a Puka that's really nice. It has an Xavier Worthy that's a good design. And so I've owned this card on release day. It was the bee's knees when it came out. I got it, PSA 10, paid like $5-6K for it, and I wanted to keep it. But I was like, I'm going to sell it because I know in 3 months people are going to forget about it, and I'm going to buy this back for less than I sold it for.
So do you think it's still going to sell for $5K, or what do you think it sells
for? I sold mine for $5,500. I think I get this one for $4,500.
Okay,
Maybe.
and what's also interesting is this is a PSA 10 pop of 33 versus a PSA 9 pop of 8. So I don't know if they put a little extra care, Panini, into actually manufacturing this particular manga sheet, right? Like maybe they cut it a little more carefully, and there are more PSA 10s, because very rarely will you see a discrepancy like this where there's 4 or 5x the amount of PSA 10s of a particular card than a PSA 9.
Yeah, this set has graded well this year. All the mangas have graded well, which is nice. We're putting good quality control into cards. The color blasts have been grading good too this year. So
I don't think the hobby has a problem with the manufacturer, whether it be Panini or Topps, putting a little extra care into these types of sets, these parallels that are SSPs or case hits, right? Put that extra time to cut the actual sheet a little slower and make sure it comes out. And, if you're going to pay $5K for a card, it'd be nice to have a PSA 10.
Exactly. And majority of them are, so thankfully they did take good care of it for once. I think this year's manga, people are going to look back in a couple of years and be like, they did a good job, and I want this card.
What do you got next?
Going back to my favorite sets, the PMGs. This is not the first year baseball PMGs, it's the second year, but you're not going to see a lot of Sandman PMGs hanging around. Yankees fans, man, they are bag holders on this set. They are going to buy these PMGs, and they're never coming for sale again because, unfortunately, the Yankee fan base is the best baseball fan base. I hate to say it, I hate the Yankees, but they will pay what they need to get that card, and it will never come up again for auction. PMG, out of 50, Mo, good grade. You people think 8s are bad. Like an 8 for a PMG is a 10. So pick up this card while you can. It's only going to go up.
Only 50 of these also, and arguably the greatest closer of all time, the greatest Yankee closer of all time for sure. I think people forget how dominant he was, and he's going to be one of those guys who, well, I mean, listen, the Yankees have so many greats, Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, right? Like, where does Mariano fit 20, 30 years from now? Because he's been retired for 15 years, right, already. So it's going to be interesting to see where Mariano ends up, because he does deserve to get his flowers with the Yankees organization.
He's the greatest closer of all time by far. It's going to be a long time till we see a closer this good. This is just a great card.
And it just seems like 2K is kind of an opportunity buy long term.
It's worth way more than that.
Do we have any cards for the average guy who might not be able to afford any of these $5,000 cards up here? Wow. Okay. I like a Tua $500. Still a little pricey. I know that some people watching this show might go, Dappz, Ethan, I don't have $500 either. Can you do some cards that are cheaper? We promise they're coming.
Yes.
We'll go over some more affordable cards in the future. We want to make sure that the cards that we're discussing are not completely unattainable for anyone in the hobby. This is significantly cheaper than the majority of the cards we talk about. And also, check out that patch, though, on this Tua card.
Well, so the reason I haven't put a lot of cheaper cards on here is because we're working off Alters in an auction house. So people don't send cheap cards to auction, but you will find some diamonds in the rough in the lower end of the auction house, because a lot of the big whales don't even look down there. This is a card that whales won't even touch. It says Tua Tagovailoa on it. I'm not a Tua fan. I know you're not a Tua fan, but this has potential. This is a Panini 1 gold with 2 beautiful patches and a PSA 10-10. These Panini 1 cards don't grade a lot. If you're a Tua fan and you want to shoot some dice and maybe Tua makes the playoffs this year, this was a 5K card at one point. This card has potential to go up. If he wins a playoff game, Miami looks good, which I don't expect them to do. This is a nice card to buy.
Also, a 10-10 on a Panini 1 patch card. Like, that's not the easiest grade. I like this at $500 for sure.
Yeah, dude, 2020, this card was $5,000. Like, that's
literally insane.
Yeah.
That it's, 1/10 the price. And also, I can see Tua bouncing back. Like, I could see the Dolphins reemerging as an offensive powerhouse with McDaniels. They've not played great the last 2 years. This kid's got to learn how to slide, though, and not get concussed every other game.
When he plays, he's a above average quarterback, and he has talented players around him. Let's see what he can do. I don't mind spending $500 on a QB, because if he's in an MVP candidate or playoff bracket, it's going to shoot up.
And before we go into the last card of our set, what I want to do is make sure we do our giveaway of the episode. All right, everybody, remember the card that I'm holding in my hands. The color of the pen that I hold in my hands is royal blue. What card is in my hands? We're giving this away right now, guys. Remember to participate in the giveaway of the PSA 10 Paul Skeens Refractor. This card is sick. This is a 24 Topps Chrome update PSA 10 Skeens. This is a rookie card, guys. Beautiful card. In order to win this card, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, like this video, and make sure you comment underneath the video. You can comment anything you want. You can comment a card you want us to talk about, a player, a topic, anything in the market that you want us to talk about on next week's episode. Comment it below, or don't. Comment your favorite basketball team. Comment your favorite player. Any comment counts. We're going to pick one random comment of this episode, and we're going to give it away on next week's episode. Please don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, ring the bell, do all the things. We appreciate you. Back to it. What's the last card on this list?
The last card on the list is also affordable. You're looking at a Pop 1 Gold 2009 Topps Chrome Tim Duncan. Like I said earlier, people are going to fill sets up. People want to check off the checklist, and they're going to need this card. This is Pop 1. You name your press.
A Pop 1 is really cool. And also, Tim Duncan is going to be one of those players, generational, where his price over time is only going to go up. When you talk about the greats, nobody ever disparages Tim Duncan.
No.
And, Tim Duncan's also one of those players where, you could argue Tim Duncan is better than Kobe. And, legitimately have an argument about it and put up stats and championships, right? To almost anybody. You could say it about Magic Johnson. You could say Tim Duncan's better than Magic Johnson. You could say Tim Duncan is better than LeBron, right? Harder argument because of LeBron's regular season body of work and how much he's put together over the years and his longevity. But still, as we sit here right now, Tim Duncan has more championships than LeBron James.
Yeah, it's super easy to forget he exists because he's the quietest player in the league. or when it was in the league. But people are like making top 10s nowadays, and I see Kevin Durant sliding in there. I see Nikola Jokic name sliding in there. Let's not forget, Tim Duncan has 5 championships. Tim Duncan is, if you played with Tim Duncan, they will tell you he's the best player they ever played with. People who played with LeBron and Kobe come out and say Tim Duncan's the best player they played with. Start collecting Tim Duncan because he will have a market soon.
And I think, when we talk about collecting and who you should collect, obviously there's some people who want to flip cards quick and make profit, but I think we give a lot of advice about collecting long-term, and whether it's Brady or Jordan or Tim Duncan, guys who have already cemented their legacy, they're not going down in price anytime soon. When you get into prospecting, right, especially this happens in the baseball market above basketball and football, but still happens regardless. Look at a guy like Wander Franco. This kid, the card market was insane for Wander Franco once upon a time. Similar to an Ohtani-level prospect where people were paying insane amounts of money. And then he gets into some trouble with the law. His cards now are essentially worthless, right? So Wander's 2019 Bowman Chrome First Auto Red Refractor in a PSA 10, this is out of 5, sold for nearly $200,000 back in May 21. Card Ladder's most recent sale of this card in 2024 was around $1,800. We're talking about a $198,000 loss. Does it get worse than that?
It's going to be hard to get worse than that. But you know what's funny? We always talk about cards going up, but more cards go down than up. Like you can look at draft class like James Wiseman's, or you can look at like a Emeka Okafor's, or you can look at players that people dumped money in, and there's way more names on that list that go down than go up.
I completely agree. I mean, we talked about Zion last week and his Logoman that sold for $600K, or I think was this a Logoman or his out of 99?
It was like an NTRPA BGS 9 for $5K, but there's like that's not even the worst of it. Like we can find ones of players that like James Wiseman's a good example. 2020, I just bought a flawless RPA for $35. Like that was the number 2 pick. He was selling for more than anyone in class. Like DeAndre Ayton, look at that guy. He was the first pick in 2018. Now we see Luka, Shea, Trey, Brunson. Like that. There's some really bad drop offs.
Yeah, 100%. And the question is, what is the lesson to be learned for some of these collectors who are prospecting or coming into the hobby and buying a guy like Wander Franco, buying a guy like Zion, buying a guy like, really any rookie who you're overspending on and haven't seen them, like you said before, Mahomes has a higher sale than Brady.
Yeah.
What if Mahomes never wins another championship?
Then I'm fucked.
Well, not only that, but, his card can't be worth more than Brady, right? So then you need the Brady market to go up significantly, right? So it's just an interesting conversation to have. I mean, did you see the sale of this Pope card?
Yeah, that Pope card. Before we get into the Pope card, I think that the rule of thumb to avoid this mistake is for every prospect card you buy, you should own 2 good vet cards. Like for every Chet Holmgren card you buy, you should have a LeBron and a Jordan.
I love that strategy. 2 vets for every prospect. I mean, the guy who just bought this $16,000 Topps Now Pope 1 of 1 card. Listen, it's the Pope. He's not going anywhere. But can this guy really make money on this card?
Yeah, I mean, if he plays well and stays safe, he's going to just keep going up. But in all realness, this guy who bought this card must have stupid money and just wanted to make a joke, because this is just... Who's collecting the Pope? I mean, it's not even an autograph. If it was like Pope game-used, preaching attire cut, yeah, sure, but it's just a piece of
Also, how do you track the profitability of the Pope card? How do his prices go up or down? Does he have to be in the circulation of the media again?
It's prayers per game,
Prayers per game. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. But we've also seen, Topps Now, all these cards that are being produced like in real time. And was the Pope card signed?
Of course not. The Pope's not going to sign it for you. You think the Topps called the Pope and told the Pope, "Hey, bro, we need an autograph"?
Hey, can we get an auto real quick? Dude, you're from Chicago. He was wearing a White Sox hat.
And I like cool stuff. I bought the tier 1 101 cut of Barack Obama, but that's an autograph. That's
what if the Pope signed the card and dropped some holy water on the card and then PSA graded it?
Sure, then I'm a fan. But that's not what happened.
Also, that would be a card where a stain would actually produce more money, right? Encapsulated, like in your PSA
Altered.
9.
Yeah.
Who knows? Altered by the Pope is what it should say.
That would be so cool. But yeah, I mean, go buy astronaut autos. Go buy someone that's signing the card. Don't buy. I don't even think the Pope knows this card exists. Maybe unless he bought it. I don't think he knows it exists.
Well, we're going to have to get the feedback in the comments if anybody's spending $16,000 on a Pope card or even, $60 on a Pope card. Who's buying Pope cards? I don't know.
Hopefully someone's Catholic.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Up or Down. Don't forget to enter the giveaway in the comments at a chance to increase the value of your collection. Again, don't hesitate to tell us in the comments what you want us to discuss on next week's episode. Please comment a topic, comment a player. We want to talk about all things cards here. Please have a happy 4th of July. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you next week.